All right, my friends, so for 25, there are two things that my mind thinks about when I see something like this. Since I see x being multiplied by a second function of x, one thing you could consider is integration by parts as a plan. And then another thing you could consider is, because you can see a composition of two functions here on the e to the negative x squared part, you could also hope that it would be a u substitution problem. And since u substitution is easier, I would try that. And then you also have an improper integral here. And so I would probably use some improper integral notation. So getting started with that, I would first replace that upper bound of infinity with the limit as b goes to infinity of the integral from 1 to b. And then I think I would probably use a u substitution. So let's let u equal that inside function of negative x squared, and then du would be negative 2x dx, which is super cute because we have x dx right there. So that x dx would be worth negative 1/2 of a du. There we go. So what do we now have? The negative 1/2 you could pull out in front of everything if you want. So I'll go ahead and do that, since it's a constant as far as everything is concerned. I personally would change my bounds since I'm about to write this as a du integral. So if x is 1, then that would mean u would be negative 1. And if x was b, that would mean u would be negative b squared. Okay, and then x dx was swapped out for negative 1/2, which is here, and a du. And then e to the negative x squared would be e to the u, like so. Okay, so now we'd have negative 1/2 times the limit as b approaches infinity of the antiderivative of e to the u is e to the u, and then we plug in the bounds. So we'd have e to the negative b squared, take away e to the negative 1. There we go. I, with negative exponents, either in my head or on paper, usually think of it as a fraction. I guess we could do that here too, like so. And then let's see what happens when we let b approach infinity. So we'd have infinity squared, which is infinity, e to the infinity is infinity, and 1 divided by infinity would approach 0. So you're left with negative 1/2 times 0 minus 1 over e. So multiply what's left, and we'd end up with 1 over 2e, which matches up, my friends, with b.